So today we're going to do a quick core workout, and this is specific for those who are dealing with diastasis recti. Now, core workouts are good for anyone. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You can definitely do these exercises and benefit from them. I just chose exercises that were most appropriate for my ladies who are dealing with that ab separation. I'm going to give you some cues throughout that can give you a bit of indication of where you should be in terms of how far you should be pushing yourself, how to modify the exercises, and whatnot. So starting on your back, we're just going to do a little assessment first. So I want you to lie on your back, bring your knees up to 90 degrees. Now, as you hold this here, you should already feel this in your core. So I'm really using my core to support the weight of my legs. Now, if you're already bulging out or you're not able to hold this in or you're feeling it in your low back, then that tells us that doing exercises with both your legs up might be a little bit challenging right now. So we really want to focus on using that breathing, so initiating our movements with a breath and maybe modifying them down until you're able to do that. But we're going to start the first exercise here. My legs are at 90. I'm using my core to hold them up. I'm going to place my hands on my thighs. So working on that breathing, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth. As I do this, I'm really drawing my belly button in. I'm knitting my rib cage together. I'm holding this all super solid. Okay, now as you breathe, I want you to try to hold that contraction and breathe into your rib cage. Okay, so a lot of people, when they breathe, they lose that contraction in their core. So this is a skill that we need to learn, breathing into our rib cage while we're still holding our core tight. So we're going to do that 2 more times. So breathing in and breathing out, drawing it all in, knitting that rib cage together, and little breath through our rib cage while we hold it. All right, I want you to do that 1 more time before we move on. So breathing in through the nose, breathing out through our pursed lips. You want to really hear yourself breathe. That forces your core to turn on. Slight pressure into the thighs, holding this here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring your knees to your chest. We're going to rock it side to side. Now, if you're finding it hard to do things with both legs in the air, I'm going to give you an exercise that you can do instead. So bringing one foot onto the ground, we're going to plant that foot down. Okay, this is going to stabilize you through your pelvis and through your low back, and our other leg is going to be at 90 degrees. Place your hands by your side, and I want you to just extend that leg out. So we're going to bring it right back up and extend it down. Now you only want to go as low as you can without tilting through the pelvis and rolling off that mat. Okay, so we're just extending out here. We're going to do about 8 on each side. Now, if you're finding this to be kind of easy, but you're not really sure if you're ready for both legs up in the air, you can always straighten that leg and do a straight leg lower. So once again, that's giving me a little bit more pull on that core. I'm having to work harder to not let my low back roll off the ground, but no big deal. Let's switch to the other side. So starting at 90, extending out, bringing it back in, extending out, bringing it in. That's too easy. Going that straight leg lower. I'm really pushing into that outer heel. Okay, so that's going to just activate this leg so that it's active. You're not just hanging out there. And that also works the way all the way up into the core. Now choose your variation of that. You can always pause this video, and I want you to do 2 more sets of it before we move on. So 8 on each side, 2 more times. Bringing your knees to your chest, you're going to stretch it out here, little rock side to side. This helps release the low back. And we're going to go into some dead bug variations. So once again, if it felt okay to have both legs up in the air, you can always start with both legs up, hands by your side, and we're just going to go little heel taps. So you notice that I actually don't even tap my heel on the ground, because I find when I go all the way down, that's when I lose that in my pelvis. So I'm only going 3/4 of the way down, really holding that through the low abs, and then breathing with that movement. So breathing out as we lower the legs. You may find that one side feels harder than the other, totally normal. We're going to do 4 more here. We got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now the next variation of this is to work our upper body into the mix. So I'm holding those legs at 90. Like I said, we're using the core, bringing our arms straight up in front of you, just extending one arm out and back in, the other arm and back in. I'm really thinking about keeping that rib cage in. Okay, so we're tucking that rib cage in. We're using the core to hold that as we move through that movement with our arms. If you're starting to feel your hip flexors fatigue, that's also normal. Just take some breaks here and really think about engaging the low abs. So your low abs are doing the work, not the hip flexors, okay? Now the last variation here that you can work on is our full dead bug. So opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching away from each other. Coordinating that movement with our breath. We got 5, 4, 3, 2 more, 2, last one, and 1. Good. So those are some variations on different exercises that you can do that's going to help you work that transverse abdominis, help bring that core back together, and also help you coordinate your movements with your breathing, which is super important as we move through our day, just so that we're not putting extra pressure on that core when it's not necessary. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me and stay tuned because I'll definitely be posting more videos like this.